Hello, my name is Larry Santi, and this is my story and his story. So, I had a great start in life. My parents were just about the best you could possibly want. They just loved Jesus. Jesus was the center of our lives. And we lived out 20 miles from civilization. Nearest neighbor was about a mile away. We went to the local community church there, and the Ranchville Baptist Church, and all the community of farmers came over, and we would congregate there. And I became to know the Lord. Got got saved and accepted the Lord at a young age. Got baptized. Everything was just hunky dory. I was just very pleased with family life was just fun. And so my dad ends up having a difficult time on the farm, and he ends up getting a job with the government. Moves us out to California, and met my wife during that time. Uh, we got married at a young age, and we kind of knew what we wanted. We had our first kid shortly thereafter, our little baby girl Jill, and I realized that, well, I got to do something here. I better go to college. So I tried to go to college, and the counselor there trying to get into the community. We left town because of some tension between the families, religious traditions, and we decided, well, let's just get out of this place, and we'll just make our own way, chart our own way. So we did. So we go 400 miles away and trying to get to the community college, and that was an experience. And most anybody could get into community college. Well, I had some resistance going there because I really never opened a school book in my life. I just had other interests. And anyway, I finally graduated from University of California, Davis. Had several job offers, ended up at Boeing. Uh, uh, that was a unique experience. And as I got going there, I just realized that there was not a lot of people that were very happy at that place. And they didn't like the job, they didn't like the boss, they didn't like the pay. And I said, if I end up staying around here very much longer, I'm going to be just like these guys. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to set a path where I'm just going to do what I feel like God's calling me to do. He gives you a gift. And I felt like I had a gift to build things. And so I went out trying to pursue building things. So I met a couple of entrepreneurs, and we built some interesting things. And I was just like, man, this is I just love this stuff. So I started another business with a little guy that I met at the company, and we started selling agricultural filtration controllers in California. We started selling hydroelectric power plant controllers, and we even started selling timers that went into suntan parlors and coin-operated things. And we were just building all kinds of stuff, and we became successful. We started making money. And so, the kids are going to church. I kind of drifted away. I wasn't going to church, wasn't doing a lot with the church. I had things to do and places to go. I felt like, why do I need church for? So the kids are going to church. So my wife was going to the Lutheran church and bringing the kids, and I thought, well, she's not going to stop doing that. So if I want to see the kids on Sunday, I'm going to church. So I go to church, and no sooner did I get in the church that the pastor comes up and he says, well, we're having a Bible class for a 2-year Bible class to study the Bible. You want to attend? And I kind of reluctantly agreed. And so, I'm going through the Bible again, studying it for the first time really in my life, diligently. So by the time I started really enjoying this, and by the time I got to the book of Daniel, I was looking at the prophecies in the Old Testament, and I'm telling myself, wow, this is just truly amazing. How could the Bible be so accurate? I decided, well, I needed evidence, so more evidence. So I studied archaeology and history, and by the time I break away from this, I discovered what God had found me, actually. I thought I had found God again, but no, God had found me. And so I started, I was just on fire for the Lord. And I'll tell you, the joy of knowing the truth was just welling up within me. I couldn't contain it. Everybody I met, I had to share. And so the few people I met were at work because I'm a workaholic. So I'm going to the company. I served as president at that time of the company, and we have these little meetings occasionally. I had to put a Bible verse up there, and it was just because, hey, did you know this, or did you know that, or did you consider this, and it was the first time in my life where I found out that Jesus can be offensive, and people were offended by that message. So I walk into the shareholders meeting, and here's a guy in a suit, and find out he's a lawyer, and he summarily fires me. And here I own 40% of the company, and I find, I'm fired. I don't have, so really 40% is not worth anything when you don't own 50%. So here I am totally humiliated, devastated, been rejected by my peers. The bank owns the equity in my house. Everything fell apart. And I tell you, I would have walked through that door if I possibly could have walked through that door. But now that I look back on it, God's hand was on that door. He said, you will not walk through that door. That door was slammed shut, and I was never to walk through it again. So all of that transpired, and all of these things happened. And I just became stronger and started all over again. And now, the only thing I could rely on, that I knew I could rely on, was Jesus. So wherever I went, I started listening to the sermons. I've listened to more sermons. I studied more scriptures. It just gave me the comfort that pretty soon I just, hey, I don't have nothing to fear. I don't care what people think anymore. It doesn't matter. If God thinks enough of me to save me, then what do I have to worry about? So I became fearless with I refer to it as reckless abandonment. But, I learned that God's yoke is easy and his burden is light. And he loves you. And still I fear him. I want to make sure that I understand the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. But he gives you freedom and the truth, and the light shines in the darkness, and it just opens things up for you. And so, as years gone on, I've had tremendous amount of issues, problems with the family. We've had health issues, but God's always been there. He's always been there. And now it's gotten to the point where he's my only hope, my everything. And so that's my story.